get this party started. All right, my name is Dr. Stacy Holweger. I am so excited that you are joining us today for the X39 stem cell activation review with our doctors. This is the Doctor Science and Technology call. And we've got two fantastic doctors here today that I'm going to be interviewing. We have Dr. Dawn Verhulst, who is an MD that is up in Michigan. And we have Dr. Stan Gravely, who is a PhD that is up in South Carolina. And so you will be hearing from both of these men today. They will be sharing with you not only the science and technology, but also why they're a part of this, what they feel is beneficial, and their take on it from their own personal experience and background and over 40 years in the medical field. And so also at the end, we will have a short time to have Q&A. So keep that in your mind. Don't ask your questions in the chat right now. We'll save those for the end. But I do want to go ahead and share our disclaimer. This information that's shared today, obviously we are not your doctors. So please check with your doctor, your physician, your healthcare practitioner, if you have any questions at all. But know this is information, and that we are not here to cure, to treat, to diagnose anything at all that's going on with you. And we will not be discussing any specific diseases, disorders, or syndromes during this call. Again, this is information about our LifeWave stem cell activation technology and the supportive patches. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Dawn Verhulst. Dr. Dawn, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here this morning. We're very excited to share with people about our adventure with LifeWave. I am an MD, and I've been an MD for, I guess about 40 years now. And I do natural alternatives. I don't use pharmaceuticals because I believe that there's a better way than trying from the get-go, than poisoning yourself to health. I like to use natural alternatives. So I'm used to teaching people how to detoxify their body, how to balance their blood and immune system, and let the body take hold and keep you in that balance. That in physiology, we call that homeostasis, the balance between building yourself up, anabolism, and catabolism, the body being broken down, which is a constant process that's going on throughout your whole life. But then as you age, things change in your body, levels of things change, and you see those changes and you feel those changes. And so when I'm using natural alternatives, I'm always looking for the least invasive way, the most effective way to get and to help people to stay healthy naturally, to let the body do what it was designed to do. And that's really what got my interest about LifeWave. When I heard about it, first of all, it was the fact that it was a non-transdermal patch. Well, what is that? Well, I've got my X39 here. It just looks like this, about the size of a quarter. And it's got some adhesive around the outside, but the center portion is a matrix, a crystal matrix. And that's where the real business part of the patch is and what's going on. You may be familiar with, I'm sure you are, with dermal patches, things like an estrogen patch or a nicotine patch, where the patch is put on the body and transdermally, trans just means goes through, and dermal means the skin. It goes through the skin and puts nicotine or estrogen into your body. That's what people are familiar with. This is not that. The LifeWave patch is non-transdermal. What does that mean? What's going on when you put the patch on? If nothing's getting in, what's happening? Well, there's a lot happening, and it's happening to support your body getting and staying healthy. What's happening is you give off infrared light. We're all light beings, and infrared is basically below the level that we can see, but it's heat energy, and you're constantly giving that off. It's the reason we can see each other with night vision glasses, even though there's no light. If you have infrared glasses, you pick up the infrared off people. So we're constantly giving that off. Well, our inventor, David Schmidt, he had some technology that he came up with, which is phenomenal, to trap this infrared energy that we're giving off. And that is what the patch does. So when you put the patch on anywhere on your body. I mean, I put my X39 on the back of my neck, and I wear my Eon below my belly button daily and consistently, but it'll work anywhere on the body. We've had clinical studies where we put it in those areas, so we know those are consistent areas you can use them and get results. But when you put it on, what it does is picks up that energy from your body, that infrared, and the matrix of organic amino acids and sugars and salts, the proprietary business of the patch, creates from the infrared energy of your own body, creates very specific wavelengths of light that are reflected back into your body and have very specific physiologic effects. Now, this may sound really different to people, and it is smart technology. I love to call the patch smart technology because it knows what to do and where to go in your body, sometimes better than what you do. You may be struggling with something and you start patching to see if it's going to work on that, and it starts working on something else. That's part of the smart technology of this patch, that it goes to where it needs to go. But what happens is that infrared from your body makes these specific, when it reflects off the patch, it makes specific wavelengths of light that do things physiologically in your body. In the case of the X39, which is really the basic patch we're going to be talking about today, there are several other patches that you need to know about and hear about and enjoy the benefits of. But the X39 is really the foundational patch, because what happens is your body creates an increase in a peptide called GHK copper peptide. Now, that peptide is well known to activate and to stimulate stem cell pathways in your body. This is something brand new, something no one else has. It's very unique and exclusive to LifeWave, which is important when you're helping people to have something that's unique. And when you increase that GHK copper peptide, you open those stem cell pathways and you reactivate them, re-energize them. People have heard of stem cells, most people, maybe not everyone, but they're very positive about stem cells, as they should be. Stem cells are wonderful. They can be game-changing and life-changing. But the problem is they can also be very, very expensive. You can spend thousands, $20,000, $30,000 for treatments of stem cells, and then you're not really sure if things are going to happen or not. And these can be injections, and you've got contamination potential, all kinds of potential issues, versus this patch. When nothing's going in, it's just stimulating your own body to reactivate those stem cell pathways. And you may not know it, but by the time you're 35, and that gets there pretty quickly for most of us on this call, I think we'll agree, your stem cell activity can be down by as much as 50%. And then just by the time you're 60, it can be down by 90%. So you've lost a lot of the activity of those stem cells. And stem cells are what rejuvenate and replenish and renew and restore your bodies. It's the reason that little children don't have the backache that some of us older people may have, or have problems sleeping, or have issues with their cardiovascular system, or whatever it may be. The degenerative diseases, I like to call them, the diseases of aging. Why do those happen to older people? Well, they don't have the stem cell activity that you do when you're younger. So the cells of your body get old, but the stem cells renew and restore that energy and vitality. And so that's what's going on when you put on a patch. Now, we know this is happening because there are multiple dozens of clinical studies that we have that show this. The patch, David worked on this patch for over 10 years and spent millions of dollars to study this, some double-blind placebo studies, so we know what's happening. But one thing I really want to encourage you today, and I want you to remember about this patching technology, is that when you put it on, it goes to work immediately to open up these stem cell pathways. And actually, a third of the genome is changed. It actually can work at the level of the genes to restore and rejuvenate your genes to a healthy, more youthful situation. So that's happening for sure. Now, do you feel that immediately? Not always. Sometimes people do. It's wonderful when that happens. When someone puts a patch on and immediately they have a benefit, of course, we love that. But what I want you to keep in mind is that even if you don't feel anything, it is happening. We know what's happening clinically. We know what's happening physiologically in your body. So my recommendation for you, strong recommendation, is you stay consistent with the patching. In fact, David recommends that you patch at least for a month for every decade that you've been alive. So if you're in your 60s, you need to patch for 6 months consistently to find out what's really going to happen in your body. And we've found that sometimes the people who have results a little bit later in their patching can be very phenomenal and sustaining results. So one thing we really want to emphasize is not giving up. When you start patching, stay consistent with your patching. I've been just amazed, and I'm sure you are too, and you will be if you haven't seen all of these different testimonies at helping the body to get and stay younger naturally. And so when I looked at this technology, because whenever I'm deciding on what to help people with in natural modalities, one thing I'm looking for is something that won't interfere with other problems that you may be having or other things that people are doing in their body, whether it be pharmaceuticals, over-the-counter things, lifestyle kinds of things. And that's something that really attracted me to this technology, which it's just a whole new wave. It is the anti-aging science of the future. Actually, it helps you reverse aging. I could say even reverse aging science, but you can be confident when you share it with people that it's not going to interfere with other things. So you don't have to say, well, I wonder if it's safe to use this. It is safe because it's your own body doing it. Your own body is opening up these pathways, stimulating. And if this sounds unusual to you, it may, if you don't know about how this works in your body every day, but it certainly does. It's very similar, the way the patch works, to how vitamin D is made in your body. When you go out in the sun, in this case, ultraviolet radiation from the sun, the ultraviolet part of the light spectrum, light, goes onto the skin, and then the body creates the vitamin D. That is phototherapy. That's photobiomodulation, which is precisely and exactly what this patching technology is with LifeWave. So it's nothing new to the body, other than it's helping the body renew and restore, but is definitely the way of the future. We are very excited about patching people, and he or she who patches the most people will get the most benefit in terms of helping people and changing lives. We've certainly enjoyed using the patches and love the fact that they're safe and that they're affordable, because most people would love to use stem cell technology, but they don't have thousands of dollars or the time to go to find a place where you can do it even, which is difficult to do nowadays too, and to take advantage of this technology. So the benefit of having LifeWave patching available to everybody, it's safe, it's affordable, it's highly effective. All these clinical studies are showing you what it's doing in your body. Why not let your body decide what it needs? All you're doing is putting your body in a position where it can give you maximum efficiency and benefit at getting and staying healthy natural. So I'm very excited about the patches. My own testimony is part of the reason I want you to stay with consistent patching, because when the very first time I was exposed to this technology, I got 5 patches and I used them for 5 days and I didn't feel anything. So I didn't think it did anything. I was wrong. It was working in my body. It was setting up some wonderful things that were going to happen, but they didn't happen because I didn't stay consistent with it. I didn't keep on patching. Then several months later, when I finally made the commitment and said, look, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it right according to the instructions, I started patching. I still didn't feel anything right away. So don't be discouraged if that's your situation. But then about week 3, I noticed such a more energy when I was exercising. I noticed that before, but I mean tremendous amounts. I was sleeping better and I felt better in general, but I could do twice as much when I was exercising and I wouldn't be sore afterwards. The recovery time was just shrunk. I didn't have any recovery time, and I pushed it to see if that was really what was happening. And then I noticed I wasn't getting up at night and having to use the restroom, which I was having to do before that. So that's a big benefit for us guys too. And then my wife Susan had similar experience in terms of timing around about week 3 with her. She had a shoulder issue that she had had an injury there and just couldn't get through it. It was very painful. And it'd been several years, tried several modalities, being adjusted and nutrients and all kinds of things that we knew to do. And it was not helping. About week 3, that pain went away. She was doing her full exercise regimen. That really got our attention. And since then, we've been sharing the patch with so many people. We've had so many testimonies, too many to share here today. But that's part of the reason why we're so excited about this and recommend people get on and keep on patching. I promise you, eventually you'll have a great testimony, but you can have that testimony right away because you know it is opening up those stem cell pathways in a natural way that's helping your body to get and stay healthy naturally. So that's my excitement about the patches, Dr. Stacy.
Wow, Dr. Don, that was an incredible explanation of science and technology and obviously why you were a part of this. And thank you for sharing your testimonial too. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. It definitely